Good morning, 7th grade. Today we're going to begin Unit 1, dealing with subjects, predicates, and sentences. Follow along with me today and fill in the answers as we go through each one of the sentences. When we finish today, your lesson will be totally completed. Let's get right at it. A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. As we discussed this week, we're going to be remembering that our sentences are made up of subjects and predicates. But today, our focus is on looking at what are complete sentences and dividing them into two different kinds. One is called a declarative sentence. The other is called an interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence is a fancy name for a question. So on today's lesson, all we need to do is look at the punctuation. What kind of punctuation is being used? If there's a period at the end, it's declarative. If there's a question mark at the end, it's interrogative. But it's helpful to understand why it is. My hobby is reading mystery books. We would say that's simply a sentence. If it's simply a sentence, ends with a punctuation period, we call it declarative. It simply states a fact. You'll notice that all of my sentences begin with capital letters. Capital M, capital H. You'll notice that each of my sentences ends with a punctuation mark, a period, and a question mark. My takeaway for today is, am I able to determine if a sentence is declarative or interrogative? 2, do I recognize that it has the proper punctuation, period, or question mark, or capitalization at the beginning of the sentence? If I can do those things, I've mastered today's lesson. In the blank, you can put DEC for declarative or INT for declarative. If you're ambitious, you can write the entire word out, declarative or interrogative. It would also be okay if you'd simply use D, declarative, and I, interrogative. Your choice. Fill in the answer. Example, have you ever played mandolin? Interrogative, it's a question. Number 1, sleet and ice keep us housebound last weekend. Period. Declarative. Again, complete your answers as you go through the lesson with me today, and when we finish, your lesson will be complete. Number 2, do you know how to process? Do you know how to word process? Question mark, interrogative. Number 3, how much do these sweaters cost? Notice the capital letter at the beginning of the sentence, and notice that it has a question mark. It's interrogative. Number 4, those shelves smell like lemon oil. Period, declarative. Number 5, do you think my hair is too long? Question mark, interrogative, capital D. Number 6, Tamara worked long hours to finish her painting. Period, declarative. Number 7, are you going to Richard's party? Question mark, interrogative. 8, was the English test difficult? Question mark, interrogative. Before we go any farther, I'd like for you to look at number 2, number 5, number 7, and number 8's first words of the sentence. Do, are, was. All of those sentences actually begin with a helping verb. And we'll notice that many of our interrogative sentences are going to do that. And that's going to help us as we get farther down when we are picking out the simple subjects and the simple predicates of the sentence, because they'll be split up by this helping verb which starts the sentence. Number 9. Dechun and his dad won the sack race. Declarative. Number 10. I think blue is my favorite color. Declarative. 11. The rusty hinges creaked as Grant opened the door. Declarative. 12. Were you born in Montana or did you move here? Interrogative. 13. Could you help me with my homework tonight? Question mark. Interrogative. 14. Jane wiped her hand across her forehead. Declarative. 15. Clear expression is an art. Declarative. Next page. 16. Grandma is the computer games champion in our family. Declarative. Have you ever seen purple cotton candy? Question. Interrogative. 18. This year's starting quarterback is a math genius. Declarative. Who's going to bring the noisemakers? Number 19. Interrogative. 20. Did the squirrels eat all the tulip bulbs? Question. Interrogative. We're going to do the same thing down below in exercise 2. Remember, if you'd like to use an abbreviation, please do, simply putting D or I on the blank. But we will notice in these sentences that we're going to put a line underneath if it needs a capital letter. You might remember from years past that this was a symbol used when we read and did proofreading. Does it need a punctuation at the end of the sentence? We're going to put that there too. Class, there's 3 things we want to be remembering. Number 1, does it have a capital letter? If not, put line underneath. Number 2, does it have punctuation? If not, add it. Number 3, put I or D on the blank if it's interrogative or declarative. Have you met Nadine? Add the question mark. It's interrogative. Number 2, will you help me with my home economics project? Line for will. It has punctuation. It's interrogative. Number 3, Polly perched briefly on Aunt Carr's shoulder. It has capital letter. It needs a period at the end. I'm going to add that. Declarative. So, if we need to, we put a line underneath for capital letter. If we need to, I'm adding the punctuation at the end. And for each one, I'm putting I or D. Number 4, all the leaves had fallen from the tree within a day or two. This one needs a capital letter. It also needs an end punctuation. It is declarative. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to continue working down this page. Remember to add the punctuation at the end of the sentence. Underline the beginning as we have done in number 8 and number 9 and number 13, number 17, number 18, and then put interrogative or declarative on the blank. Class, as you're completing these down through number 18, we're remembering what we spoke of earlier, that if it's an interrogative sentence, there's a pretty good chance that this sentence is going to begin with a helping verb. And we notice as we go down, I'm highlighting all those words. That is an indicator that it's going to be an interrogative sentence. To complete this lesson number 1, I have the last items on my page. Again, I'm remembering that it needs a capital letter. When we have our quiz at the end of this chapter, we're going to want to be remembering, making certain that the sentence is capitalized. Number 2, we want to be remembering to check for the end punctuation. If it's declarative like number 18, it gets a period. Putting declarative on the blank. If there's any questions concerning this lesson, please contact me. Tomorrow, we're going to go through kinds of sentences, exclamatory and imperative. There's no need to work ahead. I will lead you through these lessons this week. All you need to do is watch the video and complete the answers as we go through. Class, you'll notice that there is a link for IXL. The link for Tuesday and Wednesday is the same. You can begin working on those IXL practice exercises concerning the kinds of sentences. That same link will be present tomorrow. And then on Thursday and Friday, when we go into subjects and predicates, there is a link that will be displayed for you as well. Thanks for following along today. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.